by which you got there.
So is that not precedent enough for them to say, like those that wrote the letter, to say, we didn't come in as independent candidates, and the party has a directive on how they want to be able to fulfill their promises. So we must abide by that outline given by the party.
No. If you look at the National Assembly, particularly Section 50, the determination of the leadership of the National Assembly does not give the party any say in terms of how leaders emerge. Either the Senate President, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, or indeed the principal officers. The party has no say. So even writing a letter from the chairman to the Senate President or the House of Representatives is illegal. It's a misnomer. Such letters should not be had on the floor of the House. How the party will implement its own supremacy or enforce its own candidates in the House is an internal affair that will be done in the party secretariat. You don't write a letter officially as the chairman of a political party to the floor of an assembly that has other political parties. So the PDP should also write a letter and say, this is the name of our chief whip. I mean, come on.
Does that mean that the party cannot, within themselves, say, this is who we want to occupy this position because we have the majority, we have the plans for the country, haven't been elected based on those plans. We think this is, or these are the people who we prefer to drive those policies such that we can implement those objectives for which we were elected for?
Well, in the realm of the National Assembly, the party could do that within its own house. It could sit down within its own caucuses in the party secretariat and say, well, this should be our candidate, and mobilize its members to go ahead to implement that.
So they cannot...
But not officially. By imposing it, what is happening now is that the All Progressive Congress is holding the National Assembly to ransom, a political party, insisting that unless you comply with what our party has decided, Nigeria cannot move forward because we're in the constitutional crisis now. Committees cannot be inaugurated. In fact, the National Assembly will be deceiving itself to be resuming now because people are warming up. Okay. And this is at the expense of progress and development for Nigeria. In fact, I'm surprised at APC.
Mr. Adegboruwa, if I might come in here, some people will say that, you know, it takes two to tango. If you say that the All Progressives Congress is holding back the National Assembly from, you know, moving forward, some people also say that its members within the National Assembly are the one holding the party back from fulfilling its promise to Nigerians. If they are all members of the political party, and this is what they all said they were going to do when they campaigned, how come is it now that the members who are now members of the National Assembly cannot go with what their party is saying?
No, you see, I think you should understand what is going on currently in Nigeria. We should situate it holistically. This problem in the National Assembly is artificial, created deliberately by APC to hold us backward. Because having gotten to power, the party has discovered that the promises it made to Nigerians cannot be fulfilled. So we are only a government of crisis, government of distraction. The presidency deliberately sponsored this crisis in order to take away attention from us demanding for accountability for him to perform. No, but this is artificial, I'm telling you. This is the truth. What is going on in the National Assembly now is artificial, created by the APC.
Wouldn't that be an unfair accusation? Because
no, let me analyze it for you.
How could you say
that
the
president misled his members when this whole thing started and said, I'm not interested in who becomes the head of the National Assembly. Just give me somebody, I will work with him. And that was the tempo everybody was working with, to say, you can come from anywhere. Joseph for party, president is not interested. But he was interested. He was working on that ground. He wrote a letter to the clerk of the National Assembly to say, I'm in South Africa. I'm not going to be physically present when the National Assembly will be inaugurated, but I give you this authority to proclaim the National Assembly. A night to the period of that proclamation, he came in and issued directive to members of his party to meet him at the International Conference Center while he was working on a secret agenda. So to ensure that the leadership, I'm telling you the truth, this is a government of distraction, it's a deceit. And we know what's going on. I mean, no, let's get the point straight. Hold on, you invited the leader of the Niger Delta power plant. I listened to Mr. Lotu. He came here, he was on your program here, and you were discussing about power generation and how to improve electricity in Nigeria. And he said, look, let's not deceive ourselves. The capacity we have in Nigeria cannot transmit more than 5,000 megawatts, which means that we were deceived by APC to be thinking that we can get 20,000 megawatts.
No, but you know, I also...
And these are the things we are realizing that
about that part. I also
promises.
did ask Alhaji Lai Mohammed. He said, no, that is not in the manifesto.
Say it's not a roadmap.
Yeah, it was the roadmap.
Have you seen the manifesto of APC?
I've seen the
Mr.
manifesto.
Adegboruwa, I would think that, you know, your primary concern is to have electricity improve in your house. I want to believe that that's what it is. But that's not even the issue here, because I'm not willing to go into the manifesto. You have come up with what some people would say is a conspiracy theory.
Yes.
You say this is deliberately being done by the presidency. They are heavy allegations.
Oh, yes.
You say that this has been, you know, route by the presidency to cause distraction so Nigerians cannot demand for accountability. But I also listened to the presidential spokesperson, Mr. Femi Adesina, who came on, I think, one of our programs, and he was saying that initially the president wasn't interested because he assumed that a lot of the members will play decently. And if you say that, you know, the APC is in power and they have a right to form government, can we in all honesty say that what transpired at the National Assembly was the right of the APC to form its own government, considering how the elections went at the National Assembly?
No. Mokwe, let's look at the genesis of this whole thing. Before June 9, the APC called its legislators in an attempt to demonstrate power, to say we're going to conduct mock elections. And I'm happy you asked them when they came here. Especially Mr. Fashakin. He sat on this same seat, and you were asking him, is there a provision in the constitution of APC that gives the authority to conduct primaries for legislative officers in terms of their leadership? He said no. So where did we get that illegal system? That was what precipitated this crisis.
Does that preclude the party from coming up with ingenious solutions to problems that it perceives within its own party?
No, but not to draw up illegal method.
The fact that it's not in their constitution, does it make it illegal?
Whatever is not recognized by law is what is illegal. What is illegal is what is not recognized by law. Does the Constitution perceive, or the Constitution of any political party see or foresee every single situation and prescribe, you know, the medicine, it would seem, you know, in the laws as laid down? Does the Constitution envisage every single position? But that's what we're a society. Haven't we been in a position where, you know, oftentimes we find ourselves in a bind and we have to come up with something ingenious to solve that particular problem? No. Once you are ruling this country, you work by this document. Any situation that is not foreseen here, we don't go by it. Otherwise, it comes to a matter of personal decisions, such as the president waking up one day and say, I have appointed an acting chairman over